Welcome to this week's episode of Movies in the Mancave. You guys just witnessed our brand new opening for anytime we do a top 5 list.
Yep.
We'll try to get some new graphics out here for you, polish up the show a bit. Yeah. So obviously we're doing a top 5.
Right.
Jared, what are we doing this week?
Top 5 Jim Carrey movies.
I don't know about you, but most difficult list we've done thus
Yep.
far on the show.
Definitely.
Narrowing it down into the top 5 was very difficult.
Yeah,
He's got so many movies I love.
Yeah, I had to go out to the IMDb page just to check out, because there's so many, and I wrote them all down and tried to figure them out. This is the best I could come up with.
Let's start it off.
Number 5 is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Alrighty then.
For me, it introduced you to Jim Carrey. I mean, that's the first movie I remember him being in, and it just showed just how crazy, outrageous that guy is. And it's just got the football tie-in, so you gotta love that.
Any movie that stars Dan Marino's got to be on the top 5 list,
Yeah,
right?
of course. And it sparked so many things, like we were mentioning earlier, just like the talking out of your butt thing. Like, what's that all about?
If you ever do that though, people are just gonna think of Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura.
Exactly. So
not
that
that
one
you would ever do that in a public place or around anybody, but if you did,
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5.
That one did not make my list, and that was the last scratch that I
Yeah.
took off before I made the list. Very, very tough not to put that on there.
So hard.
My number 5 is Liar Liar.
Good movie.
Yeah, hilarity. I mean, his jokes are just spot on that one.
Yep.
You got the cute kid Maximilian in there.
Yeah.
Just a funny premise, a lawyer who can't lie for an entire day and the hijinks that he gets into, and
I mean, a lawyer that can't lie.
that's
I'm
tough.
good luck.
Tough. It's got
Plus-
Carrie Elwes in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that sprung the claw.
oh
I
yeah,
mean-
the claw. Just really funny.
Yeah.
The
good
pen is
times.
blue.
The pen is blue. My number 4 is Jim Carrey and Renee Zellweger in Me, Myself, and Irene. Just hilarious movie. The guy, Jim Carrey's character, gets a split personality disorder. He's kind of a weak little man or whatever, and gets this alter ego where he's just straight up awesome. And like it's just outrageous. Renee Zellweger is kind of like a con, a thief or whatever, and like he gets tied up in that, and it's just, for me, it's just nonstop hilarious, awesome. The fight scene at the end is just stupid, funny, good movie.
His alter ego is so funny just because he becomes this tough guy,
Mhm.
but he's still in Jim Carrey's body, which is not a tough guy.
No,
so
not at all.
It just does not work out for him.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
In the end, he gets a huge butt chin.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the butt chin.
Yeah.
I again had to leave it off my list. Tough, very tough. My number 4 is The Truman Show. This was one of his kind of more dramatic roles. It's still a comedy, but it has more of a plot, a little drama to it. I remember the first time I saw it, I just was blown away by this movie. I mean,
I thought for years that my life was a TV show. And
nobody cares about your life.
I know. I got a show now.
But
right?
I would totally watch that Truman Show. He's such an interesting character.
It's an interesting reality show.
Exactly.
As
I would watch it all the time. And this is, like I said, a little bit more dramatic. I considered Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but I would definitely put this movie far above that one.
Yep.
The number 23 was more of a drama horror, which really wasn't very good.
Mm-hmm.
So out of his little bit more serious roles, this is my favorite.
Yeah,
So.
I would definitely agree. My number 3 is Dumb and Dumber. It's so hard to decide, the top 3 with these movies. Dumb and Dumber could definitely be a number 1. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen this movie. Just Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels.
God, I can never remember his name. Just play 2 complete idiots that get thrown into this huge scandal, and just completely oblivious to what's actually going on. And it just so happens that it just always works out in their favor, and it's just one of the funniest movies out there. Probably it's stupid, funny, but just slapstick. I love it.
I think that's another one that kind of came out at that time for us where if you saw it when you were a kid still, it was a raunchier than probably what you should be seeing,
Yep.
which kind of made it that much more fun for you.
Right.
But you're right. Funny.
Yeah.
Very funny. My number 3, and I'm guessing this will be on your list since I know you, is How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yep.
The Ron Howard movie, a remake of the old cartoon that was a half hour and they turned it into a feature-length movie.
Yeah.
It gets watched in this household every Christmas. What a great character for Jim Carrey to play. I mean, he's under all the makeup, and you don't hardly recognize him, but you can still see the elements of Jim Carrey shining through. The humor, the faces, everything.
Yep.
If they could take Cindy Lou Who out of that movie, it'd be a perfect movie.
Yeah, I agree. Cindy Lou Who and the neighbor wife lady.
I was fine with her. I just didn't like Cindy Lou Who and her solo song. That was really boring.
Right.
But, I mean, that one's funny.
That was my number 2.
Let's go right into it.
Again, yeah, it's watched in my house probably more than once a year, unfortunately. I love the movie, don't get me wrong, but it's one of those, once a year is about perfect. I enjoy it. I loved the cartoon growing up, and I remember when they were making the movie, I saw that Jim Carrey was playing it. It's so perfect, and he's just so outrageous. Like you were saying, underneath the makeup, you would think that you really wouldn't be able to tell. It wouldn't make that big of a difference, but it does. Like, Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. When he's funny, that's just that. I mean, they did the Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers, the same kind of thing, and that didn't do anything for me. Like, that was
I didn't even bother with that one. It didn't.
Bad. And even the movie itself was just far too raunchy for kids. This one, it had the adult humor somewhat in there. It's still totally a family movie, and Jim Carrey was awesome.
Absolutely. On to my number 2, it is Bruce Almighty.
Good.
Boy, the first time I saw that, laugh out loud, hilarious. Morgan Freeman plays God, and he gives his powers to Jim Carrey to be God for a week. Is that what it is?
I think so, yeah.
And just all the hilarious things that he does, and you can imagine with those powers, the powers of God. The funniest part of the movie for me, when he had his hand behind his back, and he says how many fingers, and he says 7. He says no, and he brings it out, and he's got 7.
7. Yeah. My favorite part is is Steve Carell's part.
Oh,
when
sure.
He's using his powers to make him just talk. That's good.
If that ever happens during the show, then
that's why
there's
Jim
a godlike figure over there messing with us.
Yep. See, my number 1 Jim Carrey movie is Man on the Moon. For many different reasons. One, it's no secret that I am a wrestling fan. We've mentioned it before on the show. It deals with Andy Kaufman, his stint as a comedian, his stuff on Taxi, SNL, and of course as a wrestler. I loved that. Andy Kaufman as a comedian I thought was hilarious. I obviously didn't grow up around him, but I've seen his stuff thanks to YouTube and everything like that. And just all in all, the movie is a great biopic, if you will. I thought they did a great job. It's got Paul Giamatti in there as well, who's also
good. He's always
really good actor. I mean, if you haven't seen that movie, definitely go see it. If you want to skip through the wrestling stuff, whatever. But it's just a great movie. I thought it was well done. Yep, good stuff.
Interesting. I didn't see that being the number 1 choice. Yeah. My number 1 is Dumb and Dumber. You had it, I think, at number 3 on your list. It's one of his more quotable movies, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in the wintertime, if you're wearing 2 pairs of gloves, I mean, you're wearing 2 pairs of gloves this whole time. I mean,
anytime you walk by
can't resist.
A thing of luggage, you have to look at
Samsonite. Oh. Anytime you say anything that begins with the letter S, pretty much, Samsonite.
Oh, way off.
It's classic. It's like you said, it's one everybody has seen, and that's probably why it is so quotable. Is because people know what you're talking about right away, and they jump right on with you. So, great all around movie. But like I said, a lot of ones I would. I mean, they're on the list, and I scratch them off. Ace Ventura, Me, Myself, and Irene. The Mask is so good.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean,
it's very tough list. Lately he hasn't put anything out that I've been too interested in.
Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Not a lot of interest in it.
No.
But when you look at it as career as a whole,
yeah,
very good.
Definitely.
Very good. Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right, let's move on to our quote winners from this week.
Last week's winner, we had 2 winners, I believe.
We did.
You have one of them.
On the Area Voices site, we had Carrie Lucen was our winner.
And on Facebook, Andrew Selders. So
2 winners this week. That's good to see. There's more places to comment too. We could have up to 4 or 5 winners in a week.
True.
If you try really hard.
Do
so
it.
go win on all 5 sites. And get your name on there 5 times.
So check out last week's quote.
Let's see it.
Yeah. Oh, and remember, next Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day.
We should have worn some Hawaiian shirts in honor of that quote. Unfortunately, I don't think that I own one.
No.
Probably. But
So,
Office Space is
Office
the answer.
Space.
Whoa. What a good movie.
also extremely quotable.
If you ever have a bad day at work, come home and watch Office Space, and
Yeah.
you'll feel a lot better.
Yeah. Or you'll want to get hypnotized to not feel a thing. So
Either way.
Yep.
Either way. It'll be okay. Okay, we have a new quote for you this week related to our man Jim Carrey.
What do you got?
Sure, I get the good parking spots, but who could love a man with 1 leg and a face like a hen's arse?
That is a movie that almost made my top 5 list. Not that that's saying much because there's 100 that could have.
Yeah.
But good movie.
Same for me. I really enjoy that movie. Had to scratch it off. But if you can identify that, to go out to our Facebook, our Area Voices, our YouTube, our Twitter. Just go online anywhere and type it in. We'll probably find it.
Exactly.
And then you get your name on the show next week.
Ta-da.
Pretty sweet. All right, let's move on to new films in the theaters this week.
Yep.
First one we've got coming out is 30 Minutes or Less. It stars Jesse Eisenberg, Danny McBride, a couple other people. A guy is kidnapped and a bomb is put on his chest and he has to go rob a bank for him. What do you think?
I haven't seen too much on this. I mean, just a couple, commercial blasts that they've been doing. I guess I have no real interest to go see it. Jesse Eisenberg has kind of been drilled to death for me. Always seems to play the same character.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't know. Seems like a cool plot, I guess.
I enjoyed Danny McBride, which would be
Yeah.
the reason I would go see it.
Yeah.
He kind of always plays the same character too, but it's a character that I like.
Right.
Not a huge Jesse Eisenberg guy, but lukewarm. Lukewarm.
Right.
Definitely won't be seeing it in the theaters, but maybe I'd see it sometime. The other movie coming out is the most ironic named movie ever.
Final Destination 5.
5.
It's like Final
Fifth
Fantasy.
time they've reached that. Yeah.
Just
There's
cut it
always
out.
another fantasy and there's always another destination, I guess.
Yep.
Shown in gruesome 3D.
Yeah.
If you're into that, have fun.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Mm-mm.
All right, so nothing great in the theaters this week, but Captain America is still out there, Cowboys and Aliens, which somehow got beat by Smurfs. Go remedy that situation if you would, please, people.
Please.
All right, so that's your mission for this week. Join us later in the week for a mini episode, and we'll see you then.
What's her name's brother? And they go to the football, the mental, and we're just going to start over, please. Can we start over, Cody?